The consequences of suicide. For a person to die of suicide is a terrible way to go. But in terms of life, is there a difference in what happens to them after that? You must know, in terms of life, whether it is a suicide or natural death or accident or whatever, it does not matter how you broke your body. Whether one broke one's body by eating badly, or whether one smoked or drank and drank, or fell in love with someone and broke their own heart, or simply shot oneself. For the existence, it does not matter how it happened. They broke their body while the prarabdha karma was still on. That is all that life cares about it. However, it matters as to how one worked towards it. Let us say someone smoked happily by choice and died. Someone else had some financial problem and became utterly miserable about it and broke their heart and died. Here, the two deaths are very different things. The smoker is better off because he worked himself to it joyfully, while the other person did so miserably. Society will not like it that a smoker, drinker, or a drug addict can be in a better state when he dies than someone who is toiling endlessly. But that can happen because how one worked towards it is important. The existential has no moral compass. It is about life and the ingredients of life, not about social or psychological judgments. Socially, you may think that being above 10 other people is a great thing, but this life does not think like that. Are you making a pleasant experience of it for yourself or an unpleasant experience? This is all that life cares about, and the consequences come accordingly. You need to understand that either with suicide or with another kind of death, you are only killing the physical body. You can only kill the physical body, but with that, you are putting an end only to the Annamaya Kosha and the conscious parts of the Manomaya Kosha. That is all. You cannot end it completely. For that, you have to dissolve the subtler portions of the body, which needs something else altogether. Now, if you kill the physical body and rest of the body which is still intact will try to find one more physical body. It will have its own scope and limitations. Accordingly, it will choose the new body. It may immediately choose, or it may choose after 10 years, or it may choose after 100 years. The duration depends on certain factors. Till certain things are over, it will hang around, it cannot seek another body. It hangs around here and there, not because you died of suicide or accidental death or heart attack, but because your allotted karma had not been finished before death. Suppose your suicide is timed so that your prarabdha karma is almost over, then it is as good as natural death. If you look at it on that level, as far as this body is concerned, whether someone kills you or you kill yourself, or if you overate and got a heart attack or whatever, it does not matter. If you don't live properly, you will get a disease and die. So, would you call this a suicide? Society calls it a suicidal. When someone is smoking away to glory, they say it is a suicidal, but not a suicide. But if you jump off the mountain or if you hang yourself, only then we call it a suicide. But these are more societal, technical, and legal terms. In terms of life, did you exhaust your prarabdha karma or not? This is the only factor that matters and determines what happens after that. This happened about 30 years ago. At that time, I had a coconut and mango plantations, which I had set up from scratch in a very remote place. There was a very beautiful lake in front of my farm. Things were going well. There were no proper buildings there, so I used to pitch a tent and stay in it. Whenever I went to the farm, it was nice this way. I liked it. Those were my motorcycle days. Sometimes I had some help who would cook something for me. Other times I used to ride down about 5 kilometers to a little restaurant in the nearest village and eat something. One morning I was riding down and very close to the restaurant I saw a group of people had gathered around a well. I stopped to inquire what was happening. They said a woman had jumped into the well and killed herself around 3:30 or 4 in the evening. I sat there on my motorcycle thinking a little bit about what could have happened in her mind for her to walk out of her house at that time in the dark and jump into the well. She must have struggled with what would happen to her young children and all that. Whatever suffering she was going through, it must have been a great struggle to come to that decision. I am sure she would have definitely been terrified about jumping into the well, but still she went ahead and did it, probably hitting the walls on the side or falling into the water and drowning slowly. We don't know which way it happened. No one had ventured into the well to get her body out, so I volunteered. I went down the well with a rope for about 85 to 90 feet and saw her body floating about 3 feet below the water. She was a very young woman, maybe in her late 20s. Getting her out was not much effort. All I had to do was tie the rope to her body and come up. The villagers hauled her out. Later on, I went on to my breakfast. From an early age, the moments when I munched on my food have always been moments of enormous depth for me. Here, something else is happening. The food that you are eating is slowly becoming a part of yourself. Something that was not you is becoming you. Something which was in the ground somewhere else, in the market, in the vessel, on the stove, is suddenly becoming a part of you. It's a huge love affair, actually. Those moments have always been moments of enormous depth for me. So I sat there eating my dosa, chewing slowly. At that time, this woman was still hanging around me. I got deeply involved with her. I was actually going through the whole process of her life, her pain, her fears, suffering, and everything. It is very difficult to describe this. For almost 3.5 days, I sat at the farm doing nothing. I sat there under a tree most of the time, unmindful of the need to eat and sleep. When the people who worked for me felt I needed to eat, they would bring something and keep it in front of me. Otherwise, day and night, I just sat under this tree. And this woman was all over me. When young people commit suicide, particularly in very great distress, they linger around for a long time. People are generally scared to go to or even pass through such places where this kind of death has taken place. But it is not the place, it is the person. If we handle the person, then the place is cleared. This is when a ritual like Kala Vairava Karma, which we will look at later, becomes very important.